Oh, God. Okay. Oh, that was interrupted. Okay. All right. Anyhow, let me get back to, okay. So who can and who should fast? And basically, like I said, everyone who wants to, everyone who thinks they can, and who's overweight. Okay. So I personally intermittent fast every day. I do the ketogenic protocol because it works for me, and that's a whole different video. Now I started doing 16-8, which is typically 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of 8 hours of eating. So 24 is 20 hours of fasting and 4 hours of eating. 18-6, 18 hours of fasting and a 6-hour window of eating, and then 16-8 and so forth. So, but typically I do 16 to 20 hours of fasting a day. It works for me. I love it. And you just have to play around with it. Maybe start with 16 hours or maybe 12 hours of fasting. That's pretty simple. And then 14, 16, work your way up to 20 and maybe even 24. It works different for everybody. You just have to play around with it. It's real easy. It's a simple concept, and it's something simple to do, but it's not easy because it's all up here. You have to decide that you want to do it. You have to decide why you want to do it, and you just have to stick with it. Okay, so a few tips for this. Don't tell anyone. Just do it. Because when you tell people, so many people, oh, you're going to die. Oh, you're going to get sick. Oh, it's so bad for you. Oh, da, da, da. Oh my God. You know, and don't even tell your doctor. If you feel good and if you're doing it and if you can fast easily 14 to 16, 18 hours and you feel great and you're losing weight and you're getting off your meds, you know, you don't need to tell that to your doctor unless you have a good doctor that understands you and wants to work with you. But just keep it to yourself, especially people that you live with. Some people are just such drama people. When you break your fast, like I said, I always break it with good fats: eggs, nuts, avocados, cheese, bacon bits, steak, things like that. Okay. Another thing that I learned while I fasted, when I started fasting a couple years ago, drink lots of water. And besides that, drink it with, especially with pink Himalayan or Celtic salt, because when you're fasting, you're also not getting the minerals that your body needs every day. So both of these salts, the pink Himalayan and the Celtic salt, I don't use white salt. I haven't used white salt in at least 4 years. It's processed. It's just bad for you. But these two salts, they contain over 80 minerals that your body needs, desperately needs. Plus our soils are very mineral depleted. But the Celtic salt, though, contains about 90 minerals compared to the Himalayan pink salt. So if you can find Celtic salt, I would go with that. Listen to your body. Be patient. I can't stress that enough. You got to be patient. The longer you've been overweight or obese, the longer it's going to take you to get rid of that excess fat. And so you have to be patient with yourself. Don't expect yourself to lose everything in a month or 2 or 3. Be patient. And remember that people that fast regularly live longer. And another thing is, don't buy garbage. If you have it in your kitchen or your pantry, you're eventually going to eat it. I've been there. I used to. I kind of do, but I don't give into it as much anymore. I love chocolate. So I used to buy these healthy chocolate bars, but they do have sugar. I don't care if it's agave sugar or natural raw sugar or turbinado sugar, whatever. It's sugar. And it's going to affect your insulin. So, or your pancreas to release insulin. So I don't buy that anymore. What I discovered was the cocoa drink instead of chocolate milk. You know, I'll have what do you call it? The cocoa powder with coconut milk that I make myself, and cinnamon powder and That's my go-to chocolate. When I have my chocolate craving, that's what I go to, and it satisfies me, and I love it. And these organic chocolate bars they can get pricey, and ice cream. And even if it says organic, all natural, I guarantee you it has sugar in it. I know it does because I used to love Breyers, and of course it has sugar in it, some kind of sugar. So I know myself, and I think last year I had I bought a little pint. I was having cravings big time, and I bought a little pint of Bluebell, I think it was. Yeah, I thought to myself, I'm just gonna have a couple scoops and put it in the freezer, back in the freezer. Well, I did eat a cup of it, and then I went back for another little cup, and then eventually I ate the whole thing. I'm telling you, my teeth hurt. I had a headache. I felt like a glutton. I felt terrible. And so I didn't do that again. Did I? No, I don't think I did. I didn't do that again. It was a terrible feeling. Well, I did eat again, but not the whole thing. But I did overconsume a couple of times later. I haven't overconsumed in a long time. But so it's a terrible feeling. But, it's different for everybody. You might do that with a bag of Doritos. Some people, I love Doritos, but that's not my weakness. Some people cannot eat a little handful of Doritos. They just can't. They eat the whole bag. So if you're the type of person that will eat the whole bag, don't buy the darn bag. Just don't buy it. And if you really, really have that craving, get a little bag, But so don't buy it. Don't put it in your pantry. Don't store it for a rainy day or anything like that. Just don't buy it. But what I would suggest is always have your fridge stocked with things that are good for you. Eggs, avocados, cheese, beef jerky, nuts, meats, bacon, things like that. And then, like I said, if your doctor gets emotional or a nurse practitioner gets emotional and tells you to stop, ask him or her why, and be sure that he or she has a legitimate answer. Because remember, he or she works for you, not the other way around. And allopaths, or those conventional doctors, they're a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. So don't ever limit yourself. And look for another one. If they stress you out and tell you, you need to stop fasting, I don't know who told you that was good for you, or da-da-da, they go on some rant. You ask questions. Ask them why. Do they know about fasting? Do they know about the benefits? Do they know about keto? Most of them do not know about the benefits of intermittent fasting or the benefits of keto. One particular doctor told me about that I was going to get ketoacidosis and die. He definitely didn't know what he was talking about. I felt kind of bad for him, but I didn't get into it with him. Anyhow, there's many good doctors out there. You just got to look for them. You got to make sure it's a functional doctor or a naturopathic doctor. Because just like there's a lot of good doctors out there and a lot of bad doctors, not bad, but not good. There's a lot of good doctors out there, like hairdressers, mechanics, carpenters, plumbers, health coaches, etc. In every profession. There's your good and not so good. I don't want to say bad, but good and not so good. Some that just do what the limit is. They don't investigate. They don't. My patient said something about keto. Let me look it up. Let me Google it. Let me go the extra mile. A lot of them don't do that. And so, search, investigate. It's your body. You have to invest in your body, just like you invest in your car, your 401, your Edward Jones, etc. I mean, some people just put the best oil and the best gasoline or fuel in their vehicles. They polish them up. They wash them they take them to the car wash every week. They do all kinds of stuff to their car, but their body, it'd be nice if they took care of their body the way they take care of their cars. Some people. Because you know what the sad truth is, once you're too sick and on too much medication, it's going to be a little too late. So, and finally, I want to give you a quote from Dr. Patricia Alexander. The people who say they don't have time to take care of themselves, will soon discover that they're spending all their money and time being sick. So remember, it's very costly when you become sick. There's a lot of people that I know personally that spend a lot of money on insulin. And if you don't have insurance, it gets really expensive. So it behooves you. It's to your advantage to take care of yourself. Start now. And that's why these videos, sometimes I don't feel like making them. Sometimes I don't have time to make them. But I make time because there's too many people that are sick and dying. And they don't know why. And their doctor's not telling them. And they don't have time to read because they're too busy working and doing things that they shouldn't be doing, cooking too much, eating the wrong foods, and just, it gets expensive to take care of yourself when you're sick. And then you there's a burden on your family, your loved ones, your husband, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren. They have to take care of you. They feel sorry for you because mom is sick, grandpa's sick, or Hubs is sick, wife is sick, whatever. It's just draining on your loved ones when you don't take care of yourself. I know that's sad, and I know people that say, well, he or she loves me, and that's why you have kids to take care of you. No, that's a bad attitude. That's not why you have kids, for them to take care of you. And you don't get married for your spouse to take care of you. I mean, it's cool if they do, and they're supposed to, but if you're a heavy smoker and you get lung cancer or tongue cancer or mouth cancer or whatever from the tobacco, and then your spouse has to take care of you, that is so selfish. It's so unfair for your spouse. Compared to if you're fixing the roof or doing something that you're supposed to do, cutting a deer or cutting the meat or something, or sawing a tree down and you cut your arm or something, or cut your hand off or a finger or whatever. And that's when, your spouse should take care of you, and that's normal. But when you bring sickness and disease upon yourself, that is so selfish. But all right. So that's basically what else? Basically, that's in a nutshell about fasting. Like I said, there's a lot more to it. And remember, we're not designed to live our last. I'm 57, okay, and I don't believe that lie that the older you get, the more aches and pains you're going to experience. I stretch out every single day, because if you don't, you do get stiff, and your body is changing as you get older. But it doesn't mean it changes for the bad. It just means that you have to do a little tweaks, here and there. You have to stretch, you have to lift more weights than you did when you were younger. There's things that you need to do to keep your body in check and keep it strong, because you do lose muscle mass when you get older. And you get flabby, and that's normal. I mean, I can see a little bit of the wrinkles in that, but that's fine. That's normal. But getting older doesn't mean you get fat and sick and poor health. That's just not normal. I don't believe that's how God created us, to live our last 20, 30, 40 years miserably on drugs, crutches, and wheelchairs. And I just don't believe that. You're not supposed to be miserable as you age, and don't accept that. Don't accept that. I haven't accepted that, and I never will, because I'm going to live till at least 100, and I'm going to be a healthy old lady, because I'm determined to do that. There's no reason why I can't do that if I do certain things, or at least everything I know how to do. Because what I know now, I didn't know 3, 5, 10, 15 years ago. And that's why I have this sense of urgency to make a video every week, because health and wellness is so diverse, and there's so much to cover about your health and your body. I mean, our bodies are so incredibly oh my God, it's if you even start learning about your body and how your brain works, how all your internal organs work, and your brain, your bones, your muscles, everything, and they all work together beautifully. They all work together, and that's why I love that that verse in Psalm 139. It says, "I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well." And that's so cool because God is God. He created everything, right? He created the moon, the stars, and the rain, and the mountains, and the woods, and everything. And so, we marvel at nature, and I marvel at the sunsets, the sun-ups, the rain, and just everything. I marvel at that. And that's the same marvel that I have for this body that we have temporarily. And, life is short. It's very short. And you want to prevent and stay as healthy as you can for as long as you can. And God takes care of the rest. But in the meantime, be well, be blessed. Have a great rest of the week. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. I'm going to miss you, but I'm traveling for a couple weeks. And so it'll be a couple weeks, but I'll miss you. But in the meantime, please explore intermittent fasting. Oh, and before I forget, there's a book, The Scientific Approach to Intermittent Fasting, Dr. Michael Vander Sheldon. And I think he's in his 30s. He's a chiropractor, and he is awesome. I really like him. This is a very, very good book if you want to dig deeper. He is married. He's a chiropractor. He's married to a chiropractor as well. And if you can't buy it, if you don't feel like buying it, you can go to the library or listen to his videos. He has a YouTube channel, and so he's a good doctor to look into. He's into natural healing, and he's young. I like these young doctors because they're not stuck in that old-fashioned dogma of you got to do things this way and this way, and you have to listen to me, and everything is black and white, and you just do what I tell you, and just so they don't venture out like these young doctors that like Dr. Fung, the diabetes expert, the nephrologist. He realized, and it's so admirable because he said, my patients were getting sicker. A lot of them died because of complications of diabetes, and he just got tired of that. And he dug deep, and he's published 3 books already. And I think it's so admirable when doctors can come out and confess and realize, hey, I've screwed up. I've been telling my patients wrong information for many, many years. And so the older they are, the more stuck in their ways that they are. So that's why I love reading and following these young doctors that are taking the time to, to do the right thing for their patients. But in the meanwhile, if you don't have a doctor like that, you need to start investigating on your own, and it takes time. And that's what I do most of my time. I read a lot, and I investigate a lot so I can make these videos. And even though they're not real technical, and I don't get really, really into detail, I tell you who I learned this information from so that you can follow them on various social media. And they're out there. You just have to take the time to look for them, and instead of watching the news or soap operas or whatever, things that don't benefit you, listen to these podcasts and these YouTube videos of these doctors that are really getting out there and jeopardizing their licenses and just doing all that they can to help us. So in the meantime, have a great week. Thank you for joining me. And if you haven't subscribed, all you have to do is click on the bottom there where it says subscribe. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you. Bye-bye. Be well.